What can you do if you feel that you are so burned out from your research, from your PhD, that you are just unable to take action? Like, you know what you're supposed to do, you know that you should be working, but you just cannot seem to work on it. This is something that I see happening to a lot of my clients, this burnout and exhaustion that hits, especially towards the end of your PhD, when you are already in your, on your limits, you cannot work anymore, you are so exhausted, you just want to get it done so you can finally rest. So how can you find motivation and source for motivation when nothing feels done, when you are extra tired, when your supervisor is maybe ignoring you or not taking care of your research the way they should, and when all of that feels like a complete mess and you don't know where to even start from? So this exact same thing happened to a client of mine, and we were discussing that a few weeks ago in one of our sessions, in which she was complaining that she just couldn't take action. Like, she knew more or less what were the tasks that she should be working on, but she just couldn't force herself to take that action. And that, of course, brings rise to this procrastination vicious cycle in which you procrastinate, but you know that you should be working, but you cannot focus because you're exhausted, and then you cannot work because you're not focused and you're tired. So it's like this thing that goes on and on and on, and meanwhile you feel guilty about it. So when you're resting, you cannot properly rest. When you're working, you cannot work because you're exhausted. So this is something that is very common, and it happens to a lot of PhD students, especially, as I said, in those last months of prior to the submission, prior to the thesis defense, in that stage when you are like closing stuff, but still works needs to be done, and so on. So what can one do? The things that we did, I asked her like to show me her to-do list and what are those tasks that she was considering doing, like how do those tasks look like? And what I noticed instantly is that the tasks she was trying to do and to achieve were very, very vague, which means that, for example, structure chapter 1, finish experiment this and that, figure out how to fit that narrative into the thesis. All of those things are very, very, very abstract. And when we are super tired, which we are, I know exactly how it feels, because to me it happened the same thing. The same things happened to me, and I know exactly how I reacted. And what helped me was being very, very specific and intentional with the tasks that I was doing. Especially when everything feels like a mess, which is, I would say, especially the last part of the PhD, you have results everywhere, you have everything everywhere, and you are not quite sure how to put it all together into something cohesive. The thing that you have to do is be very specific with your task. You are already tired, so you have to make the effort before you do the work to make your tasks very specific. And this can sound something like write section 1 of chapter 2 of the thesis. Figure out how to decide, sketch, maybe even more specific, sketch the plot of this versus that. Clean up the figure in chapter 3. Clean up the code of this analysis. Like, all of those things are very, very tangible, and and what is more, not only they are tangible, they are also doable for you. Like, you can control whether you write, you can control whether you clean up the code, you can control whether you clean up the figure, because it depends only on you. Unlike the experiments, unlike the data analysis that do not depend on you, because the data sometimes behaves in very strange ways. We cannot control all of that. The same happens with experiments. So when we are in this deep mess, we crave a sense of control. And the best way to achieve a sense of control is by giving your work some structure. So if you are in that stage of your PhD where everything feels like a mess, you don't know how to move forward, you know that you should somehow put all of those results into a clear research story, write it up, wrap it up, finish, submit, and defend, but you're not sure how to do that, I want to invite you to schedule a completely free intro coaching call with me. I will leave a link down below in the description where you can do so. And in that call, we can discuss your specific situation, your specific challenges, what are the next steps that you should be taking in order to reach that finish line, and of course, see if we are a good fit to work together. So I hope that you found this video useful, and as always, see you in the next few days with another video. Bye bye.